you. All right. So tell everybody who you are, what genre you write in, and anything you want them to know before we get started.
Okay. I'm Rielle. I am what I consider a mood writer. So I'm going to write in whatever genre I feel like at the moment. Um, and I'm from Chicago area. Oh, thank you.
Yay!
And yeah, I like to write. I like to read. And I like Curtis.
Ciao. All right. As a new author, um, what inspired you to explore? Because you went contemporary fiction this last go around. So, what
Mhm.
inspired you to explore contemporary fiction?
Um, with contemporary, I love contemporary, right? I love rom-com movies. I love
Mm-hmm.
Hallmark movies. I grew up watching like Lifetime stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it was a matter of I want to see myself authentically shown on the pages.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I went the contemporary route because that's what I'm familiar with writing.
Yeah.
You hear like writing is a muscle, it's something you have to practice. I read a lot of urban because
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. But writing it, like,
Yeah.
I ain't there yet. But one day, maybe. One day, maybe.
Never say never.
One day, maybe.
Never say never. What makes the genre special? Well, you just said what made it special, but why did you choose it for this particular book?
Okay, for this particular book, you know what? Honestly, this book wasn't. I felt like with the grief and everything, the way that I had to handle it, I had to do a rom com
Mm,
because of how sad. Because of how sad a lot of the circumstances were and their backstories, I felt like the
mm,
only way to not to make it feel kind of happy still. Thank you,
mm,
and not have it be a complete downer
mm.
was to make them both funny as hell.
Well, I'm halfway through the book, and I can honestly say it is very funny. I especially love the scene when they were at work and the bitch tried to fire her, and then the boss was like, "Bitch, be
Yeah,
fucking for real."
mm-mm.
And then she got a promotion. Like, take that, bitch.
Because they be trying us sometimes, and it's just like, all right, that's cool. I was ready to go 3 days ago, so in the meantime, just let me sign this paper and I'm out your hair. I'm not gonna fight you about this
Facts,
unless you want.
facts. So let me ask you, what does representation mean to you in your writing?
Representation to me, I grew up. I mean, a lot of the books on my shelf right here don't look like us. They don't sound like
Mm-hmm.
us. Even if they have black characters in the books,
Mm-hmm.
they're basically written in brown crayon, and
Mm.
not anything that feels. It doesn't feel alive to me. And what was important to me was making characters feel alive, make them feel like people who I know. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't necessarily concerned about making sure that my book reached people who it's not necessarily for. There's some vernacular in there where they're like, "Oh, that's cringy." I don't really care about that.
Yeah,
Me, I wanted to feel happy. I wanted to feel seen, and I know it's a slew of us that feel the same way.
right. So how do you ensure that your stories reflect diverse and authentic expression and experiences?
Okay. Whew. It's a big question.
Now you knew my questions was gonna amp up
They
as
be real
time.
big, and I couldn't predict this one. All right. I think that I had to dig into my own pocket, for
Mm-hmm.
life experience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One, that's why I feel like people should stay in their lane with what they write because it's very difficult to write things outside of your life experience.
Right.
We have a different ability because we always live in their world,
Yeah.
but they don't live in our world, so it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. Uh, so it's not the same.
Yeah.
So for me, I wanted to twins. My younger two siblings are twins. Some of my best friends are twins.
Yeah.
I got brothers. So for
Yeah.
me, it was just like an easy way to sit and think of my family, think of my friends, and how we interact with each other, and try to make it a realistic downfall.
Yeah. I hear that because it's hard to see us even though we see each other.
Yeah.
The world don't see us,
Yeah.
unfortunately. What changes would you like to see in the literary space in regards to when it comes to inclusivity and being black in the literary space?
Okay. When it comes to inclusivity, I kind of don't want people to write more black characters or more Hispanic
Mm,
characters. I really just want you to read books from the people who live those experiences.
facts.
That's like me going out and writing a book that is specifically dedicated to Native Americans or to indigenous people. I could do it, but it's not going to tell the same story as what they could tell. So I think
Mm,
when it comes to inclusivity, like you want to make your surroundings and the story as diverse as the world you live in.
right.
Not a problem. Um, but when it comes to writing
Mm,
and like the literary space, I feel like they should just trust us with our own stories
mm-hmm.
and not try to water them down or make them more mainstream, because that's what I feel like happens a lot of the time right now when I'm reading stories. It's like you can tell they kind of probably want to go a different direction,
Mm,
and then you throw them back the other way.
yeah.
They feel like this is more marketable.
Yeah.
Or you could just let people read the fucking books and let them decide.
That part. That part. Now, you previously worked on a fantasy book. What led to you to pause that book?
Lots of delays.
Yeah.
Is nothing I could control.
Yeah.
Um, the hard part about being a writer is waiting on other people.
Mm,
If you're outsourcing all these different things, you're waiting on other people.
yeah.
But I said, middle finger, I don't care. My book is coming out when I say it's coming out, and I'm gonna handle everything, going forward, because this is just how I want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this book has a reason and a purpose, and it's gonna come.
So, do you see yourself returning to fantasy in the future?
Oh, for sure. That book is coming out. It's currently plotted as a 3-book series, plotted loosely because, um, whatever happens, happens once the words are actually on the page.
Yeah.
But, and then I'll have a romantasy come out this year too that I'm working on. It's a gargoyle and a witch.
Whoa. Pause. Pause. Y'all know I love gargoyles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. It's a gargoyle?
So there's gonna be plenty of fantasy. That's honestly my first. As you can see, like looking at my bookshelf, there's so much fantasy all over because I love fantasy. I love magic. And I know like a lot of times people like, especially like black people,
Mm-hmm.
younger, it's like you can't watch that magic stuff. Nah, bro, it's fine. Whatever. So now like, hey Bree. So now it's mainly like
Yeah.
I wanna I as I said in that one video, I wrote the story that I wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a fantasy story that was thank you, mama. That was one black, right? Mother
Yeah.
and daughter, and it's hidden magic, but without child abandonment. Because I feel like
Mm.
so many times, like the parent is gone, and then you have to figure out what happens afterwards. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing stories that I want to see because I feel like if anybody has to read my book, it has to be me.
Facts. Facts. Now, what about contemporary fiction drew you in more than fantasy at this point in your career?
Um, Actually, it didn't pull me in. This story. So if you read the dedication, like my auntie
Yeah.
Sean, my husband's brother. I have so many cancer survivors, like in family between the both of us. It
Mm.
was just something where it honestly kind of started as a letter to myself,
Mm.
a letter to my aunt, a letter to my brother-in-law, um, and it just evolved from there.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't anything that I intended on releasing.
Mm.
Nina came in there and was like, "We doing 12 days of Black Christmas. Bring your ass on." And I was like, "Okay."
Y'all made the cutest Hallmark
Yeah.
romances except Isla. The cutest
But you did a good one if you read the most recent one, Love Me Not. It's
I love Isla's Love Me Not. That one.
Malik. Okay.
Who don't like a tattooed baddie? But anyway, um, how has your how has how has it been being surrounded by black female indie authors in the community helping you through your writing process?
It's probably the one of the biggest blessings that I ever
Mm-hmm.
could have experienced right now. I didn't have a lot of friends growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just proximity. Like my parents wanted to make sure I went to the best school, so I lived out of district. You know what I'm saying? You know how that shit go. But it was just like I was on teams and stuff like that. But because I lived out of district, I couldn't like really develop close relationship because I couldn't let nobody know where I lived at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I hung around with a lot of people who are not me.
Mm-hmm.
Got to experience a lot of them. So being able now to be back with us is just such a beautiful thing. Is they push me, they listen to me rant, and sometimes tell me to shut up because I need to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it's just like they understand what it is to be a black writer. They
Mm-hmm.
understand what it means to write black characters,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a blessing.
Yeah. In what ways has indie publishing provided more freedom and opportunity compared to maybe traditionally publishing?
For me, indie publishing, I was able to write whatever the hell I wanted. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to care about somebody checking off a box. I didn't have to worry about somebody saying, oh, this isn't quite palatable
Yeah.
for the audience we're looking to direct it to. I just wrote what I wanted to write.
Yeah.
And that was definitely free.
How does the support of fellow indie authors in general, male and female, influence your writing journey?
They pushed me to continue.
Mm.
I when I say I have real bad anxiety, I'm not joking. Um, but they've definitely pushed me to keep going, even on moments where I'm like, how do I keep pushing forward? Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel stuck.
Yeah.
They're like, "No, just go, just do it, just write it." And when I almost pulled this boy back, the because I was so nervous, and it was just like I'm sitting here in the chat, like I know it's actually asked, but like like you can just tell me that, and they're just like, shut up, like stop, you're
Aww.
stressing yourself out for no reason. So it's been true. I think that there is no level to like the amount of value
Mm-hmm.
that there is to have other authors around you, surrounding you, making sure that you stay uplifted in moments where things get hard because they've been to the point where you're at, right?
Right.
Especially, seasoned authors and people who I always laugh when I'm talking to Denise. I'm like, bro, you didn't release like 97 books. You know, like, how are you, my friend? How are you talking to me right now? So, it's just amazing to have all those people surrounding you and pulling you up, even when you feel like you don't even want to do it anymore.
So how do your characters reflect and uplift black women as well as black men showing vulnerability but beating against stereotypes?
Um, I think that we have to have a little bit of the stereotype in there because if we're being honest, some of that is real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? They just try to use it as a negative word. For us, it's a superpower.
Yeah.
You know? So I tried to write, I didn't write like Shanice isn't me and Kendrick isn't my husband. I'm actually more like Kendrick, where
Mm.
I will sit and emotionally push stuff off until it can't get there anymore.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
so and there's a point in the book where like, he talking to his sister and then like he got this little weed and she like throw it to the side. Like, nah, you're not finna smoke this away. You're not finna just push your emotion to the side. Like we gonna talk about this.
I hate that. But yeah.
Yeah, I hate
I
it. I
hate it so much.
Let me just leave this for a second before we have this conversation.
Right. What narratives about black women do you feel are missing in literature today?
The fact that we are everything.
Mm. Mm.
We are smart, we are strong, we are caring, we are vulnerable, we
Mm.
are intentional,
Mm-hmm.
are giving to every single person around us, regardless of the fact is if they give us anything in return.
Mm-hmm.
So I love reading women like that.
Yeah. So same goes for black men. What
Yeah.
is missing in literature today that what narratives about black men is missing in literature today?
I feel like even in I feel like in urban romance and in contemporary black romance, we
Mm-hmm.
do a better job at accurately portraying men, like black men,
Mm-hmm.
because we're showing our brothers and our fathers and our husbands and all of our family the way that we want them to be seen by other people, the people that they
Mm-hmm.
can't be. Some of them might be a little crazy, but it's out of love. I tied you up this morning because I didn't want you to leave.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Okay.
but you know what I mean? Like I feel like even in the moments when we are doing something super delulu,
Mm-hmm.
still trying to put an undercurrent of care and love and intensity.
Yeah.
When black men love, they love
Hard.
hard, and you can't tell them nothing about anybody they care about. And I feel like that is what's missing from
Yeah.
the other side. But from our side, I feel like we're doing a better job at explaining that.
I think that with white authors, they don't have the flavor, and nothing wrong with white authors because I read them too,
Yeah.
but they don't have the flavor or the swag that a black person or a POC person talking about their own culture would have. And because white people don't have culture, and nothing against you white people, but facts is facts. Y'all do not have culture. Y'all take cultures, but you do not have one. And so I just feel like we have the swag and the just everything. It's
Yeah.
just the flavor, everything. So
Yeah.
therefore our writing styles are so different that, you
Yeah.
know,
There's no comparison. It
it's
just there
not.
just isn't a comparison. That's why it pisses me off to no extent when I read people trying to make hot takes and like basically coming down on black authors saying that, oh, I
Mhm.
want to read this, but like I want it to be sophisticated. Just say that
Mhm.
you think black people are smart and leave it at that. Like stop
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah, because we're the most educated, the most stylish,
No,
the most everything. So,
yeah, it's
and
just it's disingenuous.
it is. And that's why all of y'all talking about, can you give me book recs for Black History Month? Suck a dick. Suck a dick.
Please don't ask me that.
Suck a
I
dick.
want you because Google is free.
It really is.
So is all of these search engines, and that you can just type in black romance if you want to. Like, and then the first thing is like, don't jump into urban romance if you've never read like black romance before, because or urban fiction is dumb. You're setting yourself up for failure intentionally to say that you don't like this or that you tried it and that it's not a good fit for you, and it's stupid.
And on the flip side of that, all of y'all who think y'all know about these genres, y'all need to educate yourself. And I'm talking about my own people. Y'all
Yeah,
need to educate yourselves on what street lit is, what urban fiction is, what's contemporary, what's Christian fiction, what's multicultural and interracial.
yeah.
Because y'all be out here saying the wildest shit and looking dumb than a motherfucker. I'm just saying. So, in today's political climate, right? Do you see your writing as a form of resistance?
I do.
Why?
Because I will never let someone tell me, I will never allow someone to tell me that black joy isn't important. I will
Mm-hmm.
never allow someone to say that we can't be doctors, we can't be engineers, we can't be architects, we can't be computer web developers, interior designers, because we're all of those things.
Mm.
So, like, I that's why for me, I feel like I'm going to write whatever I want to write,
Mm-hmm.
and that a lot of the times in my writing I do find myself writing like business professionals, and that's just because it's what I am, it's what I can relate to.
Yeah.
It's what a lot of my family is. So it just
Yeah.
puts back on the narrative that we ain't nothing but anything because we're
Mhm.
everything.
So, how do you use your storytelling to push back against oppression, um, self righteous narratives? How do you use your storytelling against that?
I feel like I use my storytelling to show that we're humans and that
Mm-hmm.
we're emotional and that we can fit into all of these different areas, because even within the story, I know it's like very small, minute here and there, but like the way that Kendrick and Shanice talk, especially Kendrick, because it followed him a whole lot more in his career than hers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're paying attention to the way he talks to people, he changes his vernacular based on who he's talking to, because he's like, you're not going to talk down to me. I'm going
Right.
to speak to you how I feel like speaking to you. But if I want to
Yeah.
turn up a notch, I will, because I
And
can.
code switching is such a big issue in our community because if we talk how we talk in our normal everyday culture, community, state, country, whatever, it's considered aggressive.
Yeah.
It's considered ghetto,
Yeah.
ratchet,
Yeah.
and but that is AAVE is us.
AAVE is a language, and I wish people would understand that it is, and it's a language.
And it's unfortunate that we have to get around certain things and soften our voices. We have to come off non-threatening to make them feel comfortable, and that is so uncomfortable for everyone else.
It
And,
is, and I actually stopped doing that. In my
mm,
professional capacity, I still speak like whatever, because that's just how I talk.
yeah,
I'm saying something and I'm like moving around, like I literally will say just move around, because that's just, it's me. And I feel like in a professional setting like that, it's important for them to understand that, like, I'm black. I've
mm-hmm,
been black. I was born this way. I'm gonna die this way. And there's
mm-hmm,
nothing that you can say to me that's gonna make me any less black.
facts.
So once I came back from COVID and all that stuff, like once we came back remote in the office, there were people that were like, "Oh, are you okay?" No, I'm just not fake happy bullshit and hee hee ha ha with you no more. I don't
Mm,
have it.
yeah, I
So,
felt that.
yeah.
So, how important is it for Black writers to continue telling the culture stories, continue to write stories despite societal's fucking pressure to shut the fuck up and dribble?
I think it is important because we deserve to be happy.
Mm,
We deserve to have enjoyment. We deserve to
mm,
have fulfilling stories that make us laugh, make us smile, make us cry. We deserve to feel every emotion in the literature that we read and write, um, regardless of what anybody else thinks.
yeah. Okay, now I'm finna get into this. How do you find balance within yourself when it comes to writing, work, being a mother, being all these hats on your head?
It's
How do you find balance to stay in a positive mind frame?
truth is sometimes I don't.
Mm,
That's if I'm being so real. Christmas season for me, once I really got into realizing that I was actually going to write this book complete. One, it
mm,
started as a novella, and then it was just like, nah, you ain't doing that. It's not enough words. So,
yeah.
but then I was writing at night.
Mm,
I'm just like, we going to bed, and I'm just like, I kind of got to get this out real quick.
yeah.
So it took time. It takes time, right? Because like you said, I have a full time job that has to pay for all of these and my home and my kids and everything they want to do. And it just means that I make less time actually to be and to sit. I have to keep pumping stuff out. I have to keep moving. Sometimes, ain't nobody in here for my job. I just gotta pull my computer up on the side and be like, ain't nothing happening here. Let me just write for a little minute. I actually started taking lunches so that I could write. Like it, yeah.
How do you balance writing about emotional uh heavy things like you did with this book while protecting your own mental well-being?
Um, it's cathartic for me. Right.
Mm,
So I have to make sure that in between I'm listening to happier music. Right.
mm,
I'm watching movies that make me laugh. I'm spending time with my kids so that they can give me a little hug today. So that even if something is emotionally heavy, I remember writing. I don't know if you got to the point where it's a scene where like Shanice basically breaks down in her house after everything happens with her ex, and then she just like has a complete Grinch moment, and that was very emotionally taxing for me. And I had to sit, I had to smoke, I had to drink, I had to take a break for a couple days after that, and I also wrote something a little happy. I just
Mm-hmm.
went into another book because writers, we got like 97 of them in the vault somewhere, and I just started writing something that was more cheery. And
Yeah.
I can get back to it.
Let me tell you something. Her ex is a bitch ass nigga. I read that in the first chapter. I was like, what he do? What he do?
Yeah.
Like, bruh, what the fuck?
You're gonna be even more mad once you get closer to the part where like she actually opens up and talks about like the situation. Like imagine somebody basically laughing at you saying, like you shouldn't be listening on conversations if you don't want to get hurt.
Ooh, Jesus. That shit blew the fuck out of me. That shit blew the fuck out of me.
Some of these men they got something, they got some gall.
They do. That's why, you know, orange is the new black. Just saying. What self care practices do you incorporate to maintain your creativity and avoid burnout?
I draw a lot, I color, I love crossword puzzles, word searches, puzzles in general. And right now it's I still read. I don't read as much as I did before
Mm-hmm.
because I find myself like plugging for ideas almost and like reading for the emotional content that's in it and how it made me feel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, puzzles are life.
Okay. Are there any specific moments like when you're struggling with self doubt, and how do you push through that?
Community.
Mm.
I have to have community because if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna quit. Because if something ain't serving me, it's not serving me, right? But
Gotcha.
sometimes it's not about the fact that it's not serving you. Sometimes it's just difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just hard. Sometimes it's just outside of your comfort zone. And community definitely makes the difference. I'm telling you, any writer friend I had, they wouldn't be about me at least 3 times a week.
So what advice would you give a writer who is in their head and they're passionate about storytelling, but they're in their head and overwhelmed by their own pressure to be perfect?
Perfection doesn't exist.
It sure the fuck don't.
It is a myth. There is quite literally nothing that is ever perfect. There's two sides to a cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always think about it like that. I'm a baker too. So it's like you see bakers have these beautiful cakes, but it's
Mm-hmm.
because they've twisted it to make sure that the very most perfect angle is at the front of it. Right. And then you have stuff to hide, imperfections.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's important to get your story out. There's no
Mm-hmm.
point in stressing about how people are going to perceive a story if you never actually write it.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, how do you separate your personal experiences from your characters while still making them feel real?
I think that I have to separate a lot of my personal experiences because otherwise when people attack or don't like your books, they don't like XYZ thing about a character,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's you.
Mm-hmm.
You say they don't like you. And although they may not look at it like that, our artistry comes from our heart. It comes from our soul. Little bits and pieces here and there are people are part of us, are about part of people we love. And so I try to use the most minimal piece possible
Mm-hmm.
that is anybody else because or a part of me so that I don't take it as a personal attack.
Yeah. So how has your writing evolved since you first started? Like from I want to write this book to damn, I have a published book out.
Yeah, it's improved a lot. I still have lots of work to do, obviously,
Yeah.
because that writing is an uphill
Yeah,
journey.
because you got that gargoyle book that needs to come out.
I do because that's coming. Don't worry, it's already done. I just gotta edit it, low key. But it is me making sure to just flex the muscle and continue writing
Mm.
because I can't do anything else if that's the only thing that makes me happy today.
What's something you know now that you wish you had known when you first started writing?
write for you.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, at the end of the day, if nobody else likes your book, like I've seen people on threads and whatnot saying that like they got like 6-page reads or 7-page reads.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, if you're not sitting back and reading your own books and kikiing and like crying and being like, damn, I wrote that, like I would do another draft. Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to remind myself, is just to continue to grow as a writer, to continue to research. I'm doing all the master classes, looking back at all of my stuff, even from high school,
Mm-hmm.
like, and making sure that I'm pulling out the best techniques for the writer that I want to be.
Okay. Uh, how have your goals? Well, no. Have your goals as an author changed over this period of time?
They've been, yeah. So initially, I was just going to write this any book, my fantasy book. I've written it 3 times already, and I'm writing that boy again because, like I said before, like every time you read a draft, it's like I can do this better, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't stop it. But it's, I feel like I can be better.
yeah.
I feel like I can make a difference with my stories. I feel like I can not. I'm not trying to be the next anybody else. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
trying to be a better version of me. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like as long as I continue to work that muscle and I continue to hone my craft, that I can make myself somebody. My
Mm-hmm.
initial goal was just to have somebody like 10. If 10 people like my book, I swear to you, and I've said this to everybody, they all know, all I wanted was 10 people to like my book. That's it. I didn't have super high goals. I'm a new
Mm-hmm.
person in this. Like, I know that I still have work to do. I
Yeah.
know that I still have all these things. But when somebody came to me and they were like, talk about layers and character development, I was like, damn, okay. I'm tired of this.
Your ass wild. What's personal growth? What personal growth have you experienced through your writing journey?
I think that just interpersonal interactions
Mm-hmm.
are is where majority of my growth has come through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I mean, you remember like when I first started doing this, my hands were shaking. The last interview I had, my hands were shaking, and now they like pretty steady. Like it's that growth for me is invaluable, and I can talk to people. I might still forget to tell you my name when I walk away, but I can feel comfortable walking up to someone and actually saying hi and
Mm-hmm.
like trying to start a conversation.
Yeah, yeah. So if you could give your younger self with writers, your younger writer self,
Okay.
how about that? One piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't let your brother use your laptop
Damn, damn,
because he lost everything.
damn, damn.
No, I've been writing since I was younger. Oh, thank you. I've been writing since I was younger. I had books upon books, and so my mom. That was the one thing. Like I had so much written already, and I kind of gave up a little bit after that because it was like, why am I starting over? But then I just started over.
I I I just want from one Chicagoan to another, and one black woman to an older black woman to a younger black woman. I just want to say I am very proud of you and the path you have taken from when I first met you to now. It's a whole different motherfucker.
Yeah,
And I on God, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And I just want you to continue doing what you're doing. Life has a lot of setbacks, but the comeback is always greater. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So don't ever feel like the setback is gonna set you back. Just be proud of what you're doing because a lot of people are not in your shoes and it could be worse. But you are doing great things and you are inspiring people to write. And that's all that fucking matter. So
That's
don't give up on yourself at all.
I'm not. I realize that I have something within myself, and I'm going to keep fighting for it. So,
All right. Well, I want you to tell everybody where they can find your book. Do you have a website? Are you going to start a Facebook group? Yeah, I'm going to ask all this because these are things that are mandatory right here. Um, uh, your socials, and do you ever plan to go on any book tours or virtual book tours?
okay, start from the top. Facebook page, listen, real hard because I forget. Um, maybe I feel like I have to develop a readership, and maybe if somebody asked me about it, I would do it. But until somebody asks me about it, it's probably not going to happen.
Mm.
Just because that's just another thing to check. I do have a website. It's booksbyrielle.com. I am currently waiting on the Demon Spawn to deliver my books. It's been like 6 weeks and they keep pushing it back, and they low key about to cancel it. I feel it in my soul. So I'm going to order from somewhere else. And then I'll have my paperbacks on my website. All of my socials are basically either Rielle Knight Books or Books by Rielle. Try to keep it the same. So I have Threads, I have Instagram, which I am more actively posting on since we had that bullshit happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just now kind of getting back on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a bait and switch. It felt like the checks all over again, because like the first message was like, "Oh, unfortunately, we're down," and then he was like, "You didn't say my name. You didn't say my name." And they were like, "Okay, we're gonna hold it off for a second. Let me put his name in this little box that pops up, and then we take it down."
Jesus. Well, you mind if I do a little housekeeping before we get out of here? Um y'all know it's Black History Month. So I have a few surprise guests for Black History Month. And one of the guests that, if you've ever read the book Fly Girl, he will be coming on my show next Monday, Omar Tyree. I will be interviewing him because he has some special news that Moi is getting the exclusive on. So he will be here. He will be here on Monday at 6:30, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes. So we will have that. And I have a special narrator that I will announce next week that will be coming, that all of y'all fucking love.
Male or female?
Male. It's a male.
If it's who I think it is. Hey.
I just already feel I'm tired of y'all. I already feel it in my spirit that I'm gonna be tired of y'all. I just feel it. But he will be coming, and he also has an announcement. Yeah. Okay. Y'all know the Boozy Book Tour. We have so many fucking dates. It's fucking ridiculous, but this is the last year of that shit. Last year. So you better get it while it's good. And for everybody that's been asking for these tickets to open, they will be open today, I think, for Raleigh and Arlington, like the end of the week. And then Orlando, as you know, that's a collaboration with author M. Monique. So y'all gonna be waiting for a hot second, but we'll get those tickets out. And Chicago will open right after that. So, ma'am, I need you to be selling your books in Chicago.
Ooh. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there in person. You're gonna be sick of me for life. I'm sick of myself.
God. And Las Vegas is 2026 for the Melanin Ball, and that is in collaboration with Bray. So some of your Bray authors that you've seen on their thing, you might be seeing them in Las Vegas. That's a 3-day event. But our headlining author, drum roll please, Jaquel J. So if you
imagine telling her no. Imagine flipping that bag so bad. You see number 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jaquel J will be in Las Vegas. That is guaranteed, already done. Paperwork is already put in. And we will have some more stuff coming about Vegas. Then we have Denver in 2026. That is a multiracial, interracial romance book signing, but other authors are welcome to come. But know that that's what it's there. That's what it is, and that is Dungeon Night. Dungeon Night means that y'all get the first look at what my nightclub will look like because you will get to experience being in a BDSM dungeon. So you will learn about shibari. There will be spankings, impact play. There will be a lot of things going on in Denver
No.
that you will get to experience and even get some hands-on experience. So that is that. And then after Denver is Seattle. That's just a regular book signing.
Washington. Okay.
Yeah, that's a regular book signing. And the next, because we all the way out to 2027.
I was going to say, when is this happening?
That's 2026.
You need to
And
have.
in 2026, we are having a girls and book 35 and up Nigeria trip to Dirty December. So if you have not seen that flyer, more information to come. We are going. We are going to Nigeria for Dirty December. So be prepared to be sick. In 2027, we will be going to Temecula, California, to the Melanin Ball again. And that will be black exploitation movies. So that means Foxy Brown, Huggy Bear, and all that stuff. That's what you're coming dressed as. The 2026 one is a house party. So you better come in pajamas. The 2027 black exploitation. And then we will also be moving to, let's see, I can't keep up with all the shit. And we'll have one in Phoenix, Arizona in 2026. And then we will have one in Savannah, Georgia, where we will be having a masquerade Haunted Mansion ball at a mansion. We're doing it just like Haunted Mansion. So you better come in your masquerade attire with your big ass
That
flu
was
flu dress.
2027 or 2026?
That one's 2027.
Okay.
That's Haunted Mansion. That is going to be a Halloween thing, and we are only going to be after this year. We will only do 3 events a year. That's it. That's all. Because me and Shannon both have a lot of shit going on. My website is up, link in the bio, where I will be featuring authors that I love their books and doing blogs my style. So a lot of cussing, a lot of shit going on there. A lot. And before my PR person sits in the comments and tell me to say this, um, I have a social media planner that is also located in my bio. You can get it for your Good Notes, and you can have a physical copy. Good Notes, you can go to PayHip in my bio, or you can go to Amazon in my bio. There you go. Did I forget anything? Said PR person.
You said she tired. I feel tired for y'all. I was just listening and my heart was pitter pattering.
Jeez.
Need a nap for like a long time.
Oh yeah. If you have not done a good job, fuck y'all. If you have not got your tickets to the Gem Awards, I need you to get your tickets because I will be the podcaster on location, filming live and doing my thing. And I can't say it yet, but I'll also be a podcaster filming live, and I will get to interview. I get to interview S.A. Cosby and Brandon Massey. Baby! Jesus!
Hey,
Won't he do it?
that's love.
Won't he do it?
That's love. S.A. Cosby in itself. I mean, Brandon Massey is fire, but S.A. Cosby is.
Won't he do it? Woo, baby. Now you know your girl be busy. So, yes, those things are happening this year. And the Black Writers Weekend, y'all will get to see me. If you come, I get my own panel discussion. Ooh. And scene. That's all I got. That's all I got for right now. That's all I got. Oh, and I interview Morris Chestnut
Pause. What did you just say?
Uh, on location. Yes, I'm going to be at Benny's here in Chicago. Morris Chestnut
When is
and
that? Where's that at?
Benny's on the
Oh,
Lincoln
which Benny's? Which one?
on Lincoln Park in Lincoln Park
Okay. When is that?
on the 6th actually.
February 6th?
Yes, yes. I get to
Oh,
interview
and
Morris
tickets.
Chestnut. I'm my first media pass.
I mean, I can fly. I can drive up somewhere. That's like 30 minutes.
So I can't wait. So yeah, like I said, 2025 has started out as an amazing year.
You're
So
doing so great, honestly. Like, just you make sure to give yourself time.
I know, I know.
But you are doing so amazing, and I'm so proud of you. Like, that's off.
Yeah, yeah. I'll send you the address to the Benny so you can come see. I am only there for that interview. Then I have to come right back home for an interview with an indie author. So yeah, I'm just in with my microphones and then I'm out. So thank you once again for coming on.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. I'm looking forward to that